Hello and welcome back to Comics Experiment, the podcast that we've created here at Comicstorian, which occasionally goes up on Spotify, over on Twitch. It goes up over on here on the Comicstorian YouTube channel when we get around to making it, which I think we may have a proper working schedule finally. But before we get into any of that stuff and the updates, I know.
Why do you say that?
I jinx it.
Every time.
I jinx it.
And then we don't film for 4 weeks.
Anyway, guys. Today's episode is brought to you by our sponsors. First up, we have Gamersupps. Right now, there is a sale going on with our sponsor, Gamersupps. They are another energy drink supplier, but I find their product to be less chalky than their competitors. They've also created a brand called the Waifu Cups, where you can get waifu shirts, waifu cups, and it's a limited drop thing that happens, and you can also get their sustainable bars known as Sus Bars. You can get all of this by using the code COMICS or clicking the link down below, and if you do it on this weekend, you get 30% off of your order. They're going to boost our code so it does a lot more effective things right now. You can also go check out our other sponsor, Shortboxed, where you can get a graded comic book using their app. They'll help you find it, figure out what they're doing, and we're running a contest with them. If you click the link down below and just basically sign up for their mailing list, you are enrolled for a comic book, a graded comic book. I believe right now at the time of this episode going up, it's probably still the first appearance of Killmonger is the one that we're giving away. And our channel and this podcast is also brought to you by
PayPal Honey, a free add-on for web browsers as well as an app for your phone. Save money on your holiday shopping. I already did recently. We'll tell you more about that in the middle of today's episode.
And this channel, well, you know what? The channel too. The channel is also, this is also brought to you by Tales from the Mind. Andy and I are creating a creepypasta kind of short story channel where basically we just let our minds run wild and we create many of the stories. So far, it's a lot of outlines for me with Andy actually making the stories and then I narrate them. But if you enjoy my narrations and you just want to see some original content, go check out that channel. We're just having a lot of fun with it. The whole point of it is just to have fun, and I'm having fun. Are you having fun, Andy?
Yes, Ben, I am also having fun.
Andy's the writer chained in the basement right now.
This is a very loaded question is all. It was very odd.
Yeah, Andy, what do you think?
Are you having fun?
Because if not, you're fired.
I'll just go now.
Yes, this show has been on a weird hiatus. It was never intended this way. I just want to explain real quick for the people, because I do get requests for Comics Experiment to come back. Back in September, we were trying to basically move it to a better situation where we can record easier. In our last situation, recording is a little rough and more difficult to pull off, so we decided to make it easier. What that did do was not make it as easy as we thought. A lot of things just kept happening. People being sick, and then we had the holidays, then Dan got sick again, and then we had...
Again, I was only sick once. I did not take the first shift of being sick. I took the second.
I think Huey was the first shift of being sick. Somebody was the first shift of being sick. Either way, the plan now is we're going to try to film these every other week so we can cycle it in with our Dungeons & Dragons filming. If you're unaware, we also play a weekly Dungeons & Dragons game. So we just finished up the one centered around the Spider-Verse, and Andy's doing a hardcore game, and we got a few other ones in the pipeline. All of this is on our Dungeons & Ale channel, so we're trying to cycle recording that and the Comics Experiment all at once. But if you ever feel like you missed the Comics Experiment, please check out our other channel, Absolutely Marvel and DC, where you can get podcasting. How long have I been?
It's like a 3-minute intro.
Oh, damn. But I managed to promote all the important ones.
I know.
I think I did.
That is impressive.
So to run down, we have PayPal Honey, we have Shortboxed, we have Gamersupps, Absolutely Marvel and DC, Dungeons & Ale, and Tales from the Mind.
And you know what else?
What?
You can actually check links below some of our videos to go to tcgplayer.com, where you can also buy some awesome comics.
We have a lot of partnerships going right now. We should do a whole show just talking about the inner workings of Comicstorian. If you want that, let us know down below. But today we're going to talk about, is DC doomed?
Yes. Thanks for watching. Oh, wait, here's an ad portal.
So
Thanks for
it's a
watching.
6-minute video. Got to put it at 3 minutes.
Exactly.
That would be the greatest. Okay, so if you don't know what's going on, DC Comics is kind of weirdly spiraling down. Not down, that's improper. If you look at their
Circling the drain.
If you look at their market share, they've lost about 5% over the course of the year. They've gone from about 29%, while Marvel would maintain about a closer 39%. They've gone down to about 24%, while Marvel's gone down to 38%. A lot of the indie brands have gone up. That is market share. That is not percentage of what they've earned or anything like that. The general consensus is that DC's kind of burned a lot of goodwill with its readers. We had everything from, DC metal to death metal. Everything was burning. Everything was going down. Then they changed up a lot of stuff, but didn't. Future State. They were going to make all these massive sweeping changes to DC Comics, and none of it came through. Then COVID and everything else made a lot of the stories get spread out and everything happening. The general consensus that I've seen across Reddit, across Twitter, and even talking with my other comic book friends is they've just burned a lot of goodwill. The dawn of DC is the big reboot in January, and the hopes are that this is going to kind of bring back a lot of DC readers. We all have something to look forward to. It looks like it's a Brainiac event. But on top of that, the latest news just came out about Black Adam. We're going to get to your guys' opinions in a minute. I'm just explaining the whole situation here.
Indeed.
So if you've been living under a rock, there was the whole Zack Snyder debacle that happened, and then we had the Whedonverse version of the Justice League, and then we've had just weird, sporadic DC movies that link but don't link, but reference ones, but they don't want you to think they're in canon, but it's all confusing and no one knows what's actually happening. Well, Black Adam was going to be the reawakening of the DCEU, according to The Rock.
Wow, according to the person who starred in the movie and probably funded the entire movie.
The budget for the movie was between $180 to $200 million. I said million, not thousand for once.
It's $180,000.
Now,
Pocket change to the
Low budget.
what's considered profitable in Hollywood is double the budget, because that's considered profitable and it will greenlight a sequel. So they are just barely making $400 million at the end of this month and a half that it has now been out, which was a weird time for it to come out because it came out at Halloween and it wasn't Halloween themed. And it came out 2 weeks before Black Panther, one of the biggest MCU movies of the year.
Should have come out at the same time. So they could really fight each other.
Would have lost.
Most likely, yes.
It's still lost, technically
yes.
speaking.
But anyway, so it got $400 million. Well, industry insiders are stating that there's actually a hidden cost that no one knew about. There was $100 million spent on marketing.
That's not really a hidden cost.
No, it's not public. There's the budget was $200 million, and then there's not publicly released number for the marketing cost.
I got you.
Interesting.
Okay.
So what that would do is bring the movie's total cost up to $300 million. Now, $400 million is still profitable and by our standards, but not by Hollywood standards. If in fact the total cost of Black Adam was $300 million, then they would need $600 million to break even.
Math.
Which means that barely breaking $400 million is not a success. When The Rock was asked about the failing numbers of the Black Adam movie,
He punched that guy in the face
And then changed the subject.
he did change the subject, but he also...
by backhanding that dude across the stage.
Leading up to Black Adam, The Rock was like, greatest movie ever, gonna change DC, it's the restart. Now he's saying that he's more on the level of an A24 indie film, and they made their indie superhero flick.
That was an indie flick?
I didn't realize you decided that post-movie
Yeah.
release. Don't hurt me, The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah.
First name The, second name Rock.
Yeah.
So,
I heard he looks a lot like Dwayne Johnson.
It's his alter ego.
so that brings us to today. Do we feel that DC as a whole, comic books and movies, are not doing well? Does James Gunn being here, potentially making a Kingdom Come movie or his own 10-year plan, even stand a chance to revitalize hype for the DC? Does the dawn of DC revitalize hype for the comics? Andy, let's start with you. Dan, retort?
I think James Gunn definitely has the potential to revive the DCU. Did they change it from DCEU to just
Technically,
the DCU?
yes. I'm saying
It's a
EU
terrible,
because everyone knows EU.
I was going to say, that's a terrible idea. You're confusing
Sort of like
everyone.
the Harry Potter, the Harley Quinn movie.
Yeah.
Just change the title after it comes
After
out.
it comes out.
Yeah.
It's also an indie film.
I remember that. That was in the theater near us. The one, I think you go to that one in the big mall next to us.
Yeah.
And in looking at the marquee, it was the emancipation of one Harley, and then it cut off
It just
Quinn
cuts. Yeah.
because they couldn't fit it.
Yeah.
And then 2 weeks later, my wife and I went back to watch another movie, and it was just Harley Quinn.
Shocker.
I said that when that movie came out, what is wrong with you?
Yeah. Everyone did. Literally
And you know what
everyone.
it was? You know it was the marketing team and everyone, probably marketing team not even involved. It was Margot Robbie and her friends being like, this is going to be, you get it? It's the emancipation of one Harley Quinn, Birds of Prey. It's going to be great. Everyone's like,
See,
and no one was like, it doesn't fit.
Yeah. Plus, they missed a chance with that because they could have easily had a commercial of Harley pitching to her friends that name and everyone else going, let's just call it Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
be a great ad. But anyway, I think James Gunn definitely has the potential to revive it for 2 reasons. One, I think he's a great director. And 2, he does have the good faith, goodwill, whatever you want to say, from the fans that everyone enjoys his films that he has created at Marvel. And I think people are more likely to give it a shot than they would if they had just grabbed pretty much anyone else.
Agreed.
Have you seen his movie Brightburn?
I have not.
Yes.
Basically, it's evil Superman.
Yeah.
And he did a
Literally.
great job with that.
There you go.
It's
He's
like
already
if-
proved
It's
it.
like if Clark landed on Earth and was just a straight psychopath. But like as a kid.
He even puts
Not
on
like
a
a
cape at one
Homelander,
point, but he puts
like-
on like a hood so they don't get sued.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
a
yeah.
hood and a cape.
Yeah.
I like it.
It was made by WB, which made it even funnier. Like instead of making a Superman movie, we get killer Superman movie.
What's the problem?
Their best superhero film is not one of their main superhero titles.
I kind of agree with that to an extent. I do think James Gunn has done a great work with Guardians of the Galaxy. He's shown that he can take obscure characters, regardless of the Suicide Squad sales. I did like the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I thought it was
and
quite good,
Peacemaker
yeah.
was incredible. Like,
Honestly,
I love that series.
I feel like the reason why Suicide Squad did not do as well is because of the first movie.
I think it was a combo of being in the first movie, and if I remember correctly, it went straight to HBO Max
did.
because it was during COVID.
It was that
did,
too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was that point where companies were like, we just got to start releasing things. Like, we got to figure it out. And nobody was still going to the theaters at the time.
Yeah.
It's weird because like parts of the stuff he's done makes me excited about we're going to do a revitalization. You know what I mean? We're going to do, he's teased Kingdom Come. I imagine a 10-year plan to Kingdom Come. Or Sal actually pitched, use Kingdom Come, have it come out first.
And then all the other movies lead up to it.
Well, no,
Like a
have it come
reverse
out
lead up?
first, and it's the end of what exists.
That would be
That
a
is
good
the
idea.
end.
I
So
think that'd
if
be a great idea.
So if Snyder were to come back, Zack Snyder were to come back, they made some deal and he's going to finish his stuff. You could say his stuff happens before Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And everything after.
Well,
James,
you could do that without having him make more movies.
well, no, and that was his suggestion though. His
Yeah,
suggestion
yeah,
was anything that's still coming out that kind of ties into the previous
see.
regime.
Yeah.
A Zack Snyder movie, Aquaman 2, The Flash, Kingdom
Electric
Come.
Boogaloo.
And you could have Kingdom Come be the ending of that timeline, and then
Right.
you move forward. We had a whole video of it going absolutely Marvel and DC. But that was his idea for Kingdom Come. Some of his ideas are great, but then I also get a little worried about some.
Sal's?
No, James Gunn's. Like possibly using Kingdom Come. Sal's idea was great. They should just hire Sal to help make that Kingdom Come
There you
movie.
go.
But
He just walks around the set calling people idiot when they don't do it right. He's got a copy of the graphic novel. He's just hitting people with it.
follow the book.
You're doing it wrong.
It's in print.
That would be great behind the scenes.
But I do get a little worried because he's also tweeting out, "Hey, give me obscure characters you want me to do stuff on," which could be good. Peacemaker
It's a fantastic idea.
could be bad because, like, I mean, are they?
I mean,
all
Guardians
gonna
of the Galaxy were pretty obscure.
Yeah,
when
are they all going to be a Guardians of the Galaxy or Peacemaker level hit? Or are we
Well, I
going
mean,
to do?
you can't even like give a 50-50.
Wait for the Ambush Bug movie by James Gunn.
No, it's going to be a TV show. And then at the end of it, Ambush Bug is going to basically make the previous 8 episodes completely pointless.
Oh, so we're She-Hulking this.
I did not say that. I merely said what the actual show was going to
He
be about.
nearly implied it.
You ever
With the
wanted
green
you
hero
ever wanted to
that
watch a show that ran with 3 plot points that literally went nowhere and then made a joke of not ending them?
I think with James Gunn, I think he's going to have it. It's going to be initial. Like everybody's like, oh, they're going to fix it. And whether they do or not depends on the first couple of movies that come out.
Yeah. Do you see us get like? Because this is what I was thinking. If James Gunn's going to come out, he can't do a Black Adam. He can't do a Blue Beetle, although he's promoting Blue Beetle right now. But that's already on its way out.
Right.
When James, it's going to be kind of like when Zack Snyder first ended. Like, oh, he's taking care of his own stuff. He's going off to do his own thing. He was still on 4 movies because they were already in production.
Right. Yeah.
So Blue Beetle, Flash, Aquaman 2, all of this has nothing to do with James Gunn. He just has to work it into his world.
Right.
I feel like when he comes out the gate, it has to be something huge. Man of Steel 2. Has to be another Batman tied-in movie. Has to be Kingdom Come or a
Sure, yeah.
He has to come out the gate with something you would watch, regardless of it being James Gunn, so you can see how good or bad it is.
See, and that's the funny reason, because I think because of that, the obscure characters is the best way to do it. Because right now, a lot of people hear those names, and because of what we have gotten, they aren't very, like, people wait to hear what other people say.
Right.
Like, because of where they are. But when Peacemaker came out, a lot of people watched it because they were like, what the heck is this supposed to be? Who is Peacemaker? And like stuff like that. But if like he comes out of the gate and he's like, here's a Booster Gold movie, like just comes out with an obscure character
Starring Chris Pratt.
with Chris Pratt, and like
He would be a good
basically,
Booster
I was just he actually probably would be a really good
one. That'd be a really good one. But basically, Ant-Man it up.
Right.
Go. Here's a character that people know of, but people don't know a lot about. Therefore, people will be curious and they'll go for it. But it's also obscure enough that you can change things without as many people getting angry that you went, oh, Man of Steel, they did this to Superman. Why on earth would he do that?
Right.
Like, I feel like that's probably the best way to do it. And I think Kingdom Come kind of ending everything that has happened, do a little bit of a phase of obscure, bring back all the main people. And I think that would be a good way to kind of give people the ending they want, bring new characters to the universe, and then just start new.
I mean, and if you did Kingdom Come too, since it is Elseworlds and all by itself, needs no build up, nothing at all, he doesn't have to worry about it linking to it. He just does it as like, here's my first movie.
That too? Yeah.
Enjoy. What do you think he should do, Andy?
Besides, open this portal.
Today's episode is sponsored by PayPal Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. Do you stress over holiday shopping and you're worried that you're paying too much but don't have the time to search for coupons? Well, thanks to Honey, you don't have to. Honey is a free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best ones that it finds to your cart. It's super simple too. You just click Apply Coupons when checking out, and Honey will search for coupons and instantly apply the best working coupons that it can find. I shop online like all the time, and Honey has saved me easily thousands of dollars at this point, and even just saved me another $20 on a Christmas gift that I got my wife the other day. And you can save even more if you ask Honey to keep track of the price drops on your holiday shopping list. If the price drops on anything on your list, you'll instantly get an alert to let you know. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. You'll be doing yourself a solid, and you'll be helping us by supporting the show. I'd never recommend something that I don't use. So get PayPal Honey for free at joinhoney.com/experiment. That's joinhoney.com/experiment.
I mean, I realistically, ending the previous DCEU with Kingdom Come would make the most sense. And
Do
don't
you
even
think they need to end it at all, though? Or do you think we should just keep going and we just ignore it?
I mean, realistically, they should try not to rush it. That's what they should do.
Yeah.
They gotta take their time and actually produce quality movies. They need quality over quantity.
Yes.
Is what
100%
it
agree
is.
with that.
Yeah, that's what they need to do. So whether that's starting off by ending everything with a Kingdom Come and then kind of moving forward from that, you don't even need to bring in the obscure characters from Kingdom Come. You can just do it with normal characters.
Yeah.
It would still work, the basic plot. So yeah, that would probably make the most sense. But realistically, they just got to like not try to rush everything. Be like, oh, we got to fix everything in the next 2 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, because people neglect to remember, the MCU is not this perfectly pieced out puzzle.
If you go to the internet, most of the internet right now, or a very vocal portion of the internet, knows that the MCU is not perfect.
That's the haters on it. I'm saying when we got to Endgame, everyone had this like rose-colored glasses situation that ever since Iron Man, it's all played out exactly as
except for, the first couple Thor movies.
planned. Or the fact that they had to retcon the Infinity Stones into existence.
Yeah, other than that.
Because they made like 4 MacGuffins and then went, oh, well, we could just have one.
No, yeah, that's what they got to do.
Yeah, and that's what I think they could do right now. They don't necessarily have to end the Zack Snyder universe. They could just retcon out what they don't like.
Well, because if you try to end the Zack Snyderverse, then you're also going to have a very large portion of or a very vocal portion of the internet not shutting up about it for a very long time.
Right.
See, and it's actually funny you say that because I think for that reason, they should end it. I think if you really kind
Just
of
give a definitive finale.
Just give it a finale and just give Zack Snyder, executive producer, or basically something to say he had a part in it, but he wasn't like the main guy, because then you can finally go, no, it's done. It is done.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it. We need, because
But they won't.
hopefully, though, people will start like at least dying down, because I think that portion of the fan base has also had a big impact on the DCEU.
Well, that's what I was going to get to because it also affects the comic books. Because the big problem.
Just real quick, we're going to be in our 70s. The Earth has been destroyed, right? It's the post-apocalypse. You're going to be wandering through somewhere and see a billboard with hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
This wouldn't
written
have
in blood. It's going to be like, oh yeah, all right.
Snyder who?
The Great Snyder Wars.
In the 2070s.
That's what ended the world. The Great Snyder
Wars. It was
Wars.
the Great Snyder Wars, and then there was like the God Zack Snyder. It was It was in the future. It's deemed as a religion. In the past.
I like it. Yeah.
Because I think that's part of the problem that's going on with the comics, and I think it's part of the problem going with the DCEU. Everyone likes to go about and say like any news is good news, and based upon what they choose to do in their marketing department, they still seem to believe that.
Which is weird because some of that news was canceling a Batgirl movie that was almost done.
That's what I'm saying. They will just cancel the movie, or
that didn't exist.
I'm not even going to get into the argument of like bisexual John or bisexual Tim getting headlines, but the latest Batman story doesn't. Let's go back to one of the worst pieces of news they could have revealed, which was the spoilers to the wedding. Remember when they did that one?
Oh my god, that was the worst.
Just going into the news that they choose to put out there.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of what's actually happening in the comics or even what's happening in the movies, because I liked Black Adam. I thought Black Adam was a pretty good movie. Not incredible by any means, but it was definitely an enjoyable movie. It doesn't matter because you still have the loud minority going, Snyderverse, Snyderverse, Snyderverse. If it's not Snyderverse, it sucks. And just like when all you hear from DC is characters being changed around, or you just hear about stories being spoiled, or you just hear that they're getting rid of superheroes, and they don't bother to promote what's actually going on in the DC universe. Like Dark Crisis and Infinite Earths has a lot of cool things happening. And my biggest complaint with it is how far they spread it all out. I'm just losing track of what's actually happening in the Dark Crisis and Infinite Earths.
Yeah.
I remember at one point we were recording, I think it was issue 5. I had to call Andy. And I was like, Andy, this is what I think is happening in Dark Crisis?
What the hell? And even I was confused. I don't know, man. I've been reading it, and I'm not 100%.
Which was weird because he had access to the comics.
No.
I had read them, and I hit up Andy.
And he was still confused.
I was like, before,
and I was too.
Yeah, before I give this recap, let me tell you what I think is going on, because I'm going to give this recap. And Andy's like, sounds about right, but the latest issue said this.
Yeah. I also was confused.
But my problem with that, and they're not really promoting. The only promotion that I have seen outside of in a comic book for Dark Crisis was from New York Comic Con. I believe it was New York or maybe San Diego, where they renamed it from Dark Crisis to Dark Crisis and Infinite Earths. And that was back in August.
Which honestly, I didn't even realize that they had changed it.
Because we still call it Dark Crisis.
Yeah.
We're not calling
Well, no,
just
it's
call it
Dark
Dark
Crisis.
Crisis.
No, I know,
Infinite
but
Earths.
we're not. We're like, when we talk about it,
yeah.
we're not like, oh yeah, Dark Crisis and Infinite Earths. Then you just
Because you can't rename something later.
No.
You just can't.
Exactly, which is why I don't like the emancipation of one Harley Quinn.
Exactly. I mean, it's the issue. It's honestly the issue, just to explain another relative issue with that, it's the problem with female Thor. She's not female Thor. She hasn't been for 4 years. But no one calls her Valkyrie.
We do. We're the only two people that do.
It's Valkyrie.
She also wasn't technically female Thor, Ben. She was Thor.
That's what I'm saying.
You mansplaining asshole.
The point is that you just can't rename characters and you can't rename series. But I think that also has a problem to do with what's going on in the DC comics, because everyone got hyped up for Death Metal and Dark
Knight's Metal and Death Metal.
Yeah, I always get
I
the names mixed up.
still have trouble
medals.
differentiating the two.
The medals, yeah.
The
that's
Metal
Wars.
Everyone got kind of burned out on that.
you don't know
the
it's the
only
Metal
headlines
trilogy.
we've gotten since then have not made you go, oh my God, Batman's fighting his own failsafe? That sounds cool. Chip Zdarsky is writing that. One of the best writers out right now. And I heard nothing about it until he started writing it. I picked up Batman issue 125. Oh, Chip Zdarsky's writing Batman.
He just does it in between Daredevils.
Which is also a great comic. Right now.
Yeah, Daredevil is really good. But I think that the bad press is hurting them. What do you guys think about that with the comics and the movies and everything? They've just let too much bad press go.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't really pay attention to press, so I don't really have an opinion on that, honestly.
I think the fact that they only have bad press is definitely hurting them, and they never really try to redeem themselves.
Right.
They just kind of hope that people forget.
Right. I think they've run off the argument of oh, you all hated this? I hope you forget. And then let's move on. Oh, you liked this one? maybe we'll do another thing.
And that's another thing is like they get the bad press of some things, and then people are like, oh, I really enjoy this story. They're like, haha, canceled.
That is true.
And you're
White
like,
Knight is still ongoing right now, and I know most people don't even know it exists.
What is it?
What, Beyond the White Knight?
you were reading.
You were
Oh,
definitely
yeah,
you're definitely reading
Yeah,
Beyond
I'm
the White
reading.
Knight.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
It's Batman Beyond and the White Knight.
Yeah, it's one of
universe.
my favorite books
Batman's
right
got a trench coat.
It's more like a trench cape.
Trench cape. You gotta have the right look, but he's also got to keep warm.
Yeah.
I do like that he gave up on the cowl in that one. He's just like, I've just got a beard.
Just take this off. Yeah, but he's got the beard. You can't just hide the beard. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
But yeah, that's why I wonder, like, are they doomed or can they redeem all? Can we just start getting good press? Start telling us about the big, like, Dawn of DC. I feel is a good start. Telling about us the reboot. Here's what's happening in Superman.
I think.
But is it actually a reboot?
right?
I don't. It's kind of like a soft one. I think it's like a rebirth reboot. Kind of.
Honestly, from the looks of it, it feels more like we're ending things and then gonna reboot it. At least that's kind of how it comes across. But that goes to my point that I think they should have released more than just look at this timeline that has tentacles that you assume is Brainiac, but who knows? Maybe we'll change it later on. No, like give us some stuff. Give us sample pages for the first couple comics, so that we can go, wow,
That's
interesting.
That's a big thing with companies right now. Like across the board, whether it's the movies or the comic books or video games, they love releasing timelines.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody loves
It's 'cause of the
releasing
Marvel.
time. It is.
It's
It's
because of
realistically.
everyone
The problem is
did the
half the
phases.
time it's a 50-50 shot whether they're actually going to stick with that timeline.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But everybody loves releasing
gaming
pictures of timelines.
The gaming ones are the worst. Where they're
Yeah.
everyone's like, we need the roadmap. Give us the roadmap.
It's a roadmap. It's
How
a
did you not? How could you
timeline.
not keep to the roadmap?
I don't know when graphs became a fun advertising thing, but yeah, it's a 50-50 whether it's going to actually work
See
that way.
and then like that's the part because the timelines I feel got a lot of the hype because it allowed you to go, I'm excited for the next thing, but I'm aware of what's in the future.
Yeah.
And
Guys,
it
in
kind of-
3 years.
Well, and that's what they've shown the next 6 months. That's all they've shown with Dawn of DC. And it looks
Yeah.
like Brainiac's tentacles, and they've said that this is all going to come out of Dark Crisis in Lazarus Planet, which I still don't know what Lazarus Planet is.
It's a planet that comes back from the dead.
It's Mogo.
Turns out Mogo's blood is Lazarus.
I like it.
But anyway, that's all going to come out of that. It's going to start with a reboot, soft reboot of Superman. So, like, John's going to get a new job. Connor's going to go do a thing. Like, everyone's going to do something new. They also got him a new super son. They just apparently picked up some Kryptonian kids from Warworld. Well, we don't want to DH John. I'll just get some new kids.
Let's not de-age the character that everyone wants to de-age.
Clark, why did you bring home new kids? I just feel like John's too old now. So it's like when your dog gets a little old, so you get a new puppy,
Right.
one that still wants to play.
But
Are you
have them-
implying you're
have
getting a
them
new puppy
together
soon?
so that it trains
Yeah,
the younger
exactly.
one.
Yeah.
Are you implying you're getting a new puppy, Andy? You want to do the puppy journey again?
Maybe.
Oh, no. You're eventually going to have like 9 dogs. You're just walking them down the street.
Better than 9 cats. is all
Honestly,
I'm
I
saying.
will say, of all characters to de-age John, it would be fantastic if Brainiac somehow did something where he was like, John is too powerful and will defeat me unless I de-age him, and like time travels John, de-ages him. There you go. Because people love Super Sons.
You made a movie about it. Now,
Yeah.
when you don't have the Super Sons.
Yeah. Which was actually not too bad.
Yeah, the movie's really good.
It would have been great if they advertised it and then told you
I've
where
seen
you could
one
see
trailer for it.
We
To
own
be
it if
honest-
you want to watch it.
To be honest, the trailer didn't make me want to watch it. So.
it. I will say the animation is not the best, but in terms of the story, it's actually quite good.
Yeah. I do feel like giving us this 5-month roadmap, it's a publishing initiative, you know? We're kind of bringing everything back you want. We're doing Green Arrow. We're doing Green Lantern. Where the hell have they been? Where the hell have they been?
Well, Green Arrow did a body swap with Aquaman.
That's true.
Deep target.
And Green Lantern was flying around helping out with the Dark Crisis.
Yeah, he showed up and he was like, what happened to everyone? They died? Oh,
Yeah,
darn.
literally, he was like, I go to space for 3 weeks.
I was like, he helped. He kind of,
I mean, he did go get them out of the
right, but where
the
was he
world.
until then?
Oh, that I.
We had an adventure with Jon Stewart with no ring. That was the adventure going on in Green Lantern. Still don't know why that existed.
You know
But
my least favorite part of the Green Lanterns are their powers.
you have a
dumb.
ring that can literally do anything. You know what we should do? Deconstruct that and take that away.
No, bring back the Red Lanterns.
Let's deconstruct it for the 14th time.
Oh no, they lost the ring.
Actually, they
Again.
did bring back the Red Lanterns. That's right. I completely forgot. Yeah, they did.
The JSA one's not actually a Red Lantern.
No, I know that, but they finished the Green Lantern story where they like resurrected the central battery and it revived all the different lantern colors and different people got swapped and then they did nothing.
Okay, no, I got a question about that since we're kind of doing our tangents. So I saw that. They revived everything. And my first question was, when did they destroy everything?
They destroyed it. It was
I don't remember
some weird
the
thing.
other
During one of the other events.
It was a story about like the council, basically the UN of all the worlds. They were convening on Oa, and then something happened. The lantern blew up. Everyone starts going crazy.
No, that was the beginning of that arc.
Yeah,
But when did they get rid of the whole spectrum and had to bring back the whole spectrum?
I don't know.
One of the events.
Tell us.
One of the events, all right?
Yeah.
So yes, one of the events.
Yeah.
When was the last one a Green Lantern was in?
We resurrected Hal Jordan. I didn't even know he was dead. To be honest with you. I mean, dead again. Just for second time.
But I do think this is kind of what we need, and I feel like the problem we're running into now is, will the bad press carry over? A new publishing initiative
Yes.
at DC is going to give us 5 months of getting excited again. James Gunn, if he comes out and is like, he does a Feige thing, here's the plan.
Was that your Feige impression?
That's my Feige.
He has never heard Feige talk.
I have never heard Feige talk.
If that was how Feige talked, I don't know. Why is he always talking like that?
Anyway, do you guys want to go get some burritos
Also, he likes burritos?
What?
and hats?
You know, well, that's accurate. That's the only thing you know of Feige.
Burritos and hats.
No,
Hats
what is
and
the
Marvel.
burritos
How do you know?
thing?
Do you know he doesn't like burritos?
I don't. You're right. I don't know if he would announce it though.
At his Marvel MCU slate. Also, I love burritos.
And then he just walks off stage.
He's got a timeline. After this, I'm going to get a burrito.
That's right. In the
And then
little
the next
letters,
movie.
In the little letters at the bottom.
I think the bad press is going to follow, but I feel like if we can get a solid 6 months of solid comics combined with like Rebirth level, where everyone's like, yes, DC, combined with James Gunn coming out in the next like 6 months and being like, and the movies, they'll be starting in 2029.
Well, probably. You figure if they greenlit one today, it would probably be like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah. Plus, we're getting Flash next year
Yeah.
in June.
Yeah.
Okay, let's take a vote. Who thinks that is actually finally going to come out?
The best
Next year or in June?
And next year.
at all.
At all.
I think it will come out.
The best part about it
I'm
is,
hedging my bets, though.
I was looking up news the other day for our podcast, and they announced we're moving it up a week.
Ooh.
It's now going to be like June 13th or something. And I was like, no one knew it was an exact date.
In
Anyway.
between Ezra Miller's
You know what that is? That's just James Gunn being like,
He's got a window.
They need
To
to
go to
wait
the
between the
premiere.
years so
Yeah,
you can go to the premiere. Or
Yeah,
they can go
yeah.
to the premiere.
that's just James Gunn being like, you know what? Just put all the old stuff out next year. Just put it all out.
What we should do is just have a month where it all comes out.
And Batgirl
boom,
caps
boom,
it off.
boom, boom, boom.
Put
No,
up
because then they'd have to pay back that $90 million.
They could call it December.
Oh, it's all coming out next week.
Why don't we handle why don't we handle your marketing? Let us do your marketing.
People
Dan
love
would
that
give
kind of
so
stuff.
many. No, you love that. Kind
I do love that kind of stuff. I will say one of my big problems with Fortnite, tangent, is they got rid of their alliteration on like half the landing spots.
Is that really bothering you?
Yes. I always praised them for the fact that all of their places had different alliterations.
How crazy would it be if James Gunn was like, you know what, screw it. How many movies we got waiting? And they're like, well, there are like 4 that are done. He's like, Christmas Eve, put them all out. I don't
HBO
care.
Max.
I don't care.
HBO Max. Put them all out on HBO Max. That's not what I
Merry
like there.
Christmas.
Just drop them all.
Actually, no, do it on each night of Hanukkah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
On the first night of Hanukkah, Batgirl.
No, because then they'd have to pay back $90 million. That's
It's gonna
never
come out.
That's never coming out.
I don't care if it's good or bad. I
That's
wanna
never coming
see
out.
it.
You may eventually get some sort of weird leaked bootleg where like the CGI hasn't been finished,
Yeah.
but that movie is not coming out.
No. Restore Batgirl.
Hashtag restore Batgirl.
All right. Well, I think we kind of covered it down. Final verdict, Andy. Do you think that they can fix everything next year with all these the things we're getting hyped about?
Well, yeah, I mean, hypothetically, yes, they can fix things. Will
Do you
they?
think it
I don't
will?
fucking know.
What about you, Dan?
I think James Gunn's their best chance for
Well, yeah.
What about the comics?
comics. I think the dawn of DC is going to be, if they do not start strong, no one's going to care about the rest.
Yeah. Which I find interesting that they're starting with Superman. Not because I don't think Superman has fans or they can't do well with Superman.
Because Superman doesn't have fans, and I don't think...
Superman's just been such a yo-yo book over the years, you know?
Bendis lost a lot of people's faith on Superman.
I was enjoying Superman finally, and then he came in. He did an okay job for what he did, but I didn't like it.
He should have been on Batman. Based on his Batman universe, I think he would have been better on Batman. Anyway, continue.
That's another tangent for another day. But yes, that's today's video. What do you guys think down below? Do you think that they can repair this given the next 6 months of announcements, books, all the new stuff coming out? Or do you think at this point, DC just needs to cut their losses, I guess? That was the other alternative, would be to just reboot everything. Still want them to reboot everything. I think that'd be great. Just give us day one, do a New 52 again.
Booster Gold goes back in time, and he's the one that kills Bruce Wayne's parents. Yeah, right.
Don't forget to check out our spot. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Gamersups, Shortboxed, PayPal Honey, and our other channels, Dungeons and Ale, Tales from the Mind, and absolutely Marvel and DC. If all goes according to plan, this is real wood. We'll be back with another episode in 2 weeks.
Lord,
2 weeks.
He also has Ben and Friends.
What?
It's another channel.
Yeah, it is, yes. We have a lot more channels, but I'm not going to name them all, Dan. Ben and Friends, Comicstorian, Full Story, Comics in 60 seconds. The Benny Potter Vlog channel.
See you next year.
The one where Andy and I just drink beer all night and talk.
It's literally never been a thing. Even like non-filmed.
We should do